Okay, so welcome to the part two of the series in which I learn to improve my accent. So let's begin. I found another video. This video is by Interactive English. Just so you know, so I'm going to just full screen window it and let's begin.
I'm going to teach you all about the American accent, which is my English accent because I am from the United States. And this is a practice lesson, so I want you to participate and actually say these words and sentences with me. And if you are someone who wants to improve and develop your speaking fluency, please subscribe,
Mm-hmm.
turn on notifications. That way I can become your teacher. My name is Wes. The channel is Interactive English. It's all about trying to help you reach your fluency goals. So we're going to do this step by step. And really, we're just going to build on top of things as we go along. And again, I want you to practice. So let's start with a couple of super common reductions. And these are reductions that you absolutely need to learn because you will hear them all the time and you will also use them all the time. And I'm talking about probably the two most common reductions, gonna and wanna. So going to and want to, when those phrases are followed by a base verb, we can reduce them. And going to is going to get reduced to gonna, and
Okay.
want to will get reduced to wanna. Now,
Wanna.
you may
Okay.
already be
Gonna.
familiar with these
Wanna.
reductions, and you may already be using them as well, and that's great.
Yes.
It's all about developing a nice rhythm and flow. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to give you some sentences, and I just want you to repeat after me. Say these reductions out loud, but I'm not going to spell the reduction. I really
Okay.
want you to get in the habit, even when you're reading and you see going to followed by a verb, that you're just going to change it already. And in your
Okay.
mind, you're going to say gonna or wanna. Now,
Okay.
keep in mind, these are reductions. You're not going to emphasize these words.
Mm-hmm.
So just repeat after me. We're going to be late. We're going to be late.
We gonna be late. We
Are
gonna
you
be
going to
late.
go?
Are you gonna go?
Are you going to go?
Are you gonna go?
I'm not going to eat that.
I'm not gonna eat that.
I'm not going to eat that.
I'm not gonna eat that.
He's going to start a new job.
He's gonna start a new job.
He's going to start a new job.
He's gonna start a new job.
It's going to rain tomorrow.
It's gonna rain tomorrow.
It's going to rain tomorrow.
It's gonna rain tomorrow.
Excellent. Easy enough. And you really just move right through the sentence using these reductions. So let's practice a few more sentences, this time with the reduction wanna. I want to go home.
I wanna go home.
I want to go home.
I wanna go home.
What do you want to do?
What do you wanna do?
What do you want to do?
What do you wanna do?
I don't want to be late.
I don't wanna be late.
I don't want to be late.
I don't wanna be late.
Do you want to play a game?
Do you wanna play a game?
Do you want to play a game?
Do you wanna play a game?
We just want to relax.
We just wanna relax.
We just want to relax.
We just wanna relax.
All right, well done.
Relax.
I trust that you are saying these out loud and practicing
Yes, I
your
am.
speaking skills, because just saying them out loud, even with simple sentences, it's really going to help you get more comfortable so that you can start using them naturally.
Okay.
Now, speaking of reductions, let's continue and talk about some single word reductions. And I'm
Okay.
talking about the words to, for, and. So these
For,
words
and
are commonly used, but they're not really content words. They're not words that you're going to emphasize.
Okay.
And when they get reduced, the vowel sound can change slightly. So each of these words has two different pronunciations. So like the word to, it may
To.
sound like the number, but when it's reduced,
For.
it may sound much softer, to. And you're really going to hear more of a schwa sound, that unstressed vowel sound. The word for
For.
is going to sound like fur.
For.
And we're just going to reduce that. That D is going to go away. And it's going to sound like N. I really want to emphasize the idea that these words are unstressed, because
Okay.
I want to practice them. And typically when people end up focusing on them, they emphasize the word. And that is not the case. The
Okay.
whole idea is that these words are unstressed, and that is why that vowel sound is going to change. Let's look at this first sentence, but there's something I want to mention before we practice. I'm going to the dentist. Now, this does not mean you're always going to reduce this word. There may be situations, depending on the tone and the conversation that you're having, it may sound like to. Maybe you're not paying attention and I'm trying to emphasize that this is something I'm doing. I'm going to the
To
dentist.
the dentist.
And you hear to. But quite often, you're just going to say this casually without giving it too much thought, and to is going to get reduced, and it's going to sound like
To.
a softer t. I'm going to the dentist.
I'm
I
going
want you
to
to
the
say this
dentist.
after me. Let's say it slowly. I'm going to the dentist.
I'm going to the dentist.
Now let's say it at a normal speed. I'm going to the dentist.
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 And then
the
this one
dentist.
slowly. She's planning to travel to France.
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 Now let's
To.
practice with some sentences
To.
using for, but we're going to reduce it to fur. Once
Fur.
again, we'll say it slowly and then at a normal speed.
Okay.
I went for a walk in the park.
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 And then this last sentence, I'm going to throw in a reduction. What are you going to do for lunch?
What are you gonna do for lunch?
What are you going to do for lunch?
What are you gonna do for lunch?
What are you going to do for lunch?
What are you gonna do for lunch?
And finally, let's practice reducing and to n. She's healthy and fit.
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 We're having chicken and rice for dinner.
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 You're doing great. And I hope that as I was saying those sentences, you can hear the reduction, that it's a much softer sound. And I also hope that when you were saying them, you're keeping that in mind, that it's a
Yes.
softer sound, it gets reduced. And this is really important. Like I said, it's about developing a nice rhythm and flow. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But the next thing that I want to tell you about is something that is a distinct part of the American accent. And I'm talking about the flap T. So the flap T, it really sounds like a soft D. And they say flap because your tongue really is just coming up and flapping against the top part of your mouth.
Okay.
So there are 3 times when this occurs, and you should be aware of all 3. The first one, which I think is the most common, and that is when the T comes between 2 vowel sounds. And there are many words that you would use a flap T. Just repeat after me. Water,
Water,
city,
city,
better.
better, better.
I also want you to
better,
keep in mind that when you have a
better.
phrase and the T comes at the end of the word, but it's between 2 vowel sounds, you're also going to pronounce that as a flap T. I want you to repeat these phrases after
Put up,
me. Put up,
put up,
get over,
get over,
start out.
start out,
You hear those flap
Start
Ts.
out.
You're also going to use a
start out once again.
get over, start out.
Start out. Okay.
You hear those flap Ts. You're
Yes.
also going to use a flap T when the T comes before or after a dark L.
Okay.
So once again, repeat these words after me. Little,
Little,
bottle,
bottle,
battle.
battle.
And finally, you're going to pronounce the T as a flap T when it comes before or after a controlled R. Say these words after me. Daughter,
Daughter,
party,
party,
turtle.
turtle.
One way that I love practicing the flap T is with a tongue twister, Betty Botter. Now, most of these
Betty
T's,
Botter.
they come between 2 vowel
Betty
sounds, and
Botter.
I want you to repeat after me. Let's
Betty
do this
Botter
line by
bought-
line. So just repeat after me. Betty Botter bought some butter,
Betty Botter bought some butter,
but she said the butter's bitter.
but she said the butter's bitter.
If I put it in my batter,
If I put it in my batter,
it will make my batter bitter.
it will make my batter bitter.
Again, you're pronouncing all those flap T's. Let's say it one more time. Let's say the whole thing. And I want you to shadow. So in this case, I want you to say it with me. Try to maintain that same speed and really use that flap T.
let's
Are you
go.
ready? Betty Botter bought some butter,
Betty Botter bought
but she
some
said the
butter,
butter's
but
bitter.
she said the butter
If
was
I
bitter.
put it in my
If I
batter,
put it in
it will make my
batter,
batter bitter.
it will make my batter
So
bitter.
this is a great way to practice the flat T because there's so many of them, and you're just saying that soft D sound.
Okay.
Now, another distinct part of the American accent, which is a sound, and I want you to master it, and that is the American R. So let's talk about how to pronounce the American R. We'll just call it that. And I'll tell you how to position the tongue in your mouth. So your tongue is going to be pulled back a little bit, and the sides of your tongue are going to be touching the insides of your upper teeth. The tip of your tongue is going to be pointed up, and it's really going to be fixed in a fixed position. Your lips are going to be a little rounded. So this is what it sounds like, that. It reminds me of a Frosted Flakes commercial. Tony the Tiger would say the word great, but really emphasizing that R sound.
Good, they're great.
Give it a try, and really that R sound.
Good, they're great.
Give it a try, and really emphasize that R sound. Great.
Great.
Let's practice with some individual words, and this is really important because it's all about fine-tuning your pronunciation, because the R sound in other English varieties it's not always the same. So I want you to say these words after me, and I'm going to emphasize that R, and I want you to do the same. Are you ready? Red.
Red.
Right.
Right.
Around.
Around.
Car.
Car.
Star.
Star.
And you're really going to pronounce that R sound. The next thing that I want to share with you is incredibly important when talking about rhythm and flow. You've heard me mention this several times already. But you need to keep in mind that English is a stress time language, and this is what's going to help you develop that rhythm and flow in a more natural way of speaking. So what does it mean when we talk about stress timing? It means that the stress syllables or words are said at approximately regular intervals, and then the other words or syllables may get reduced in order to fit that pattern. And because of this, the English language may sound mellifluous, which is a great adjective, which means something is pleasing or soothing to hear. So because English is a stress time language, it can sound a little musical. You could take any sentence and really create a melody. And that's what I want to do right now. And I want to say these sentences with a melody, and I'm going to throw a lot at you right now. So let's just look at this first one. He's going to go to the gym. Every time I clap, that is the stressed syllable or word. He's going to go to the gym. Think about what else is going on in the sentence. Going to, I'm going to reduce that to gonna. To the gym. To, it's reduced, so that vowel sound's going to change to the gym. However, that T, it comes between two vowel sounds, so I'm going to pronounce it as a flat T. So to the gym, it's actually going to sound like to the gym. Go to the. You hear that flat T along with that reduced sound. Go to the. Go to the. And you will hear this all the time with the American accent. Go to the gym. Go to the mall. Go to the store. So I told you, I'm going to throw a lot at you right now. So think about that melody.
Got it.
He's going to go to the gym.
Okay.
And I want you to say it just like that. So repeat after me. He's going to go to the gym. One more time with that melody. He's going to go to the gym.
He's going to go to the gym.
And even if I'm just saying this casually at a normal speed, you can still pick up on that stress timing. He's going to go to the gym.
He's going to go
to the gym.
He's going to go to the gym.
Let's practice the next sentence. Where do you want us to put this? Again, every time I clap, that's that stress timing. That's the rhythm. Where do you want us to put this?
Where do you want us to put this?
At the end of the sentence, we have that reduced to put this. To put this.
Read again.
Stress timing. He's going to go to the gym. He's going to go to the gym.
He's going to go
Let's
to
practice
the gym.
the next sentence. Where do you want us to put this? Again, every time I clap, that's that stress timing. That's the rhythm. Where do you want us to put this? At the end of the sentence, we have that reduced to put this. To put this.
To put this.
Where do you want us to put this?
Where
I
do
want
you
you
want us
to
to
repeat
put
after
this?
me. Think about that melody. Where do you want us to put this?
Where do you want us
One more
to put
time.
this?
Where do you want us to put this?
Where do you want us to
And
put this?
now let's just say it at a regular speed, but still using that stress timing. Where do you want us to put this? And now let's practice this last sentence. I'm going to get an Uber and go home. Again, there's several things going on. We're going to reduce going to gonna and to n. I'm going to get an Uber and go home.
I'm going
I
to...
want you to repeat after me. I'm gonna
I'm
get
gonna
an
get
Uber
an
and go
Uber
home.
and go to home.
I'm gonna
I'm
get
gonna
an
get an
Uber and
Uber
go
and go
home.
home.
And now let's say it at more of a
Uh,
normal speed. I'm gonna
I'm
get an
gonna
Uber and go home.
I'm gonna get an Uber and go to home.
I would really encourage you to practice
I'm
this.
gonna
And
get
you
an
can
Uber and
practice
go to
on your
home.
own. What I would suggest is that you read something out
I'm
loud,
gonna
and I think it would be
I'm
more
gonna
beneficial
get
to
an Uber
read
and
some
go home.
poetry. Probably even better, read a children's book. In that way, you can
Okay,
really
damn.
create that melody. Because the way that you read to a child, it's going to be different than just reading any old book or article out loud. And you're
Okay,
trying to create that melody, make it sound a little more like a song, and you're using that stress timing. So this is something that I think is really going to help you to create a more natural rhythm and flow. Let's
okay,
move on to the next thing, which is, well, also very common, and that is linking your words. And really, this is a part of connected speech. And Americans will often link words together because it helps make our speech faster and smoother.
okay.
And when you think about it, many languages use linking. And the first time that you start learning a language, you hear it and it just sounds like one long word. This is really because of linking. So specifically, linking is when you link the final consonant sound of one word with the beginning vowel sound of the next word. I want to practice with some simple sentences, and we are going to link two or more words together. Let's look at our first sentence. And the way I would say this is, can you give us an update?
Can you
And we're
give
going
us
to
an
link
update?
several words together. I'm not going to pronounce the words individually. Can you give us an update? When thinking
Can
about
you give
linking and
us an
connected
update?
speech, the idea is that you're not pronouncing the individual words, but you're pronouncing them together as a phrase. So the phrase that we're going to link is give us an update. So let's say this
Give us an
slowly, and I
update.
want you to repeat after me, and I'm
Okay,
going to emphasize that consonant sound that gets moved over.
okay.
Give us an update.
Give us an update.
Say it again. Give us an update.
Give us an update.
Now let's say the
Give
question. Repeat
us
after
an
me.
update.
Can you give us an update?
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 Here's the next one. I'm going to take it away.
I'm gonna take it
So
away.
I'm going to reduce going to gonna. Take it away.
Take
That
it
is the
away.
phrase that I'm going to link. And that
Take it
final T
away.
in it, I'm going to pronounce it as a flat T. Take it away.
Take it away.
Repeat after me. Take it away.
Take it away.
Take it away.
Take it away.
Now let's say the sentence. I'm going to take it away.
I'm gonna take it
And you can
away.
even hear that melody. I'm going to take it away.
I'm gonna take it away.
One more time, just for good measure. I'm going to take it away.
I'm gonna take it away.
Let's try this one. I just got out of the meeting.
I just got
The
a
phrase that
meeting.
I'm going to link, got out of, you hear those flat T's. There are two of them. And then I'm going to link them over with that vowel sound.
Got out
Got out of.
of. Got out of.
Got out of.
Damn.
I really.
Okay, so the main thing which I found very fascinating was I watch a lot of YouTube videos since a lot of years, and just behind my mind, the way I first think about how to pronounce it is the right way of pronouncing it, and is the right way of pronouncing it, and mm, just a second, I lost my train of thoughts. Um, um, just a second, I'll be right back. Yeah, so what I was saying was I watched a lot of YouTube videos like since a lot of years, basically mainly consuming English speaking content, and I never tried to switch away from like the Indian accent. Now when I'm trying to like switch away and constantly thinking of saying words in a different accent, it just naturally my brain is just linking all those videos which I've watched over the years to this, and it just automatically just clicking and happening. Okay, so let's begin.
I want you to think about this phrase because we use this quite often. And I think if you're not really familiar with linking, this is a good starting point because we will use this phrase in a variety of contexts. Get out of, got out of, I get out of bed,
Get out
you
of
get out
bed.
of the car,
Get out
you
of
can
car.
get out of trouble.
Get
So
out of
quite
trouble.
often you can use this phrase and
Trouble.
just practice this and say
Practice
it with a
this.
variety of sentences.
Variety
So
of
let's say
sentences.
our sentence right here. I just got out of the meeting.
I just got out
One more
of
time.
the
I just got out of the meeting.
I just got out of the
Some other
meeting.
common phrases that I want to highlight. And if. And will get
and
reduced to
if.
N, and then we can link it. And if.
And if.
But I.
But
But that T, I'm going to pronounce it as a flat T, and then when I link it, it's going to sound like but I. And if, but I.
But I.
One thing I would encourage you to do is just listen to the way that native speakers are talking and then try to say things in the same way. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. But really, try to let your ears do all the work. Don't think about the individual words, but think more about the sounds. It'll make things easier for your mouth. Something else I want you to do is focus on common sound changes. And really, I'm talking about assimilation. So sounds may change when two words meet. And assimilation occurs when two sounds really sound more like each other because they're spoken consecutively. And there are some common phrases, specifically when asking questions, and you can use assimilation. So let's talk about them right now. First, we'll begin with the T and Y. When those two sounds assimilate, you get a bit of a ch sound. Think about the phrase, don't you. That T and Y, if they blend together, you get a ch. We can practice this question. Why don't you give me a hand? Can you hear it's like that slight ch sound? We're putting it between the two words, and that is what really allows us to connect them together. Don't you? Why don't you give me a hand? I want you to say it after me. Why don't you give me a hand?
Why don't you
give me a hand?
Why don't you give me a hand?
Here's another question. Don't you want to get out of the pool? So don't you hear me say don't you. I'm going to reduce want to wanna, and then there's our linked phrase, get out of. And once again, you can hear that melody. Don't you want to get out of the pool? So I want you to repeat after me. Don't you want to get out of the pool?
Don't you want to get out of the pool?
One more time. Don't you want to get out of the pool?
Don't you want to get out of the pool?
Another common sound change is with the D and Y. So when these two sounds assimilate, you get more of a J sound. Think about the phrase, did you?
Did you?
When I pronounce this, I'm going to say, did you? You can hear that slight J sound. Did you?
Did you?
So we have our question, what did you eat for breakfast?
What did you?
Once again, for. Let's reduce it to fur. So repeat after me. What did you eat for breakfast?
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 And again, I hope you can hear that stress timing. Here's another question. Where did you go last night?
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 So when it comes to common sound changes, this is a great place to start. And notice that these were all questions. And quite often, you're talking to somebody and you're asking them a question. Consider that last phrase, did you?
Did you?
So instead of pronouncing the individual words,
you
could say, what did you? Where did you? Why did you? How did you?
How did you?
Now, it's going to allow you to ask a question just more easily and naturally, but that doesn't mean assimilation is always going to occur. You may hear somebody say, what did you? But if you want to connect them and really just move right through the question, what did you, where did you, why did you, how did you, this is a great way to practice. Something else I want you to work on and practice is American intonation. And really, this is more about tone and the way that you're expressing your thoughts, opinions, and ideas. It's just more natural. So in its simplest terms, let's just talk about statements and yes-no questions. So statements, really going to have a falling intonation at the end, and yes-no questions, you're going to have a rising intonation. And I think a great way to practice this right now is by changing some statements to questions. So let's have a look at our first one. He's looking for a job. Now, this is a statement, so you have that falling intonation at the end. He's looking for a job. I want you to repeat after me. He's looking for a job.
He's looking for a job.
Now, if I change this statement to a question, which is really a yes-no question, now I'm going to have a rising intonation at the end. He's looking for a job.
He's looking for a job.
Can you hear that? He's looking for a job. I want you to give it a try. He's looking for a job.
He's looking for a job.
One more time. He's looking for a job.
He's looking for a job.
Here's our next sentence. As a statement, repeat after me. She's 25 years old.
She's 25 years old.
She's 25 years old.
He's 25 years old.
And now as a question, she's 25 years old?
She's 25 years old.
She's 25 years old?
He's 25 years old.
And then one more as a statement, repeat after me. They live in this building.
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 Now as a question with a rising intonation, they live in this building?
They live in this building.
They live in this building?
They live in this building.
Now I know when you heard me say these sentences, you could really tell a difference between falling and rising intonation, but I really hope that as you were saying them, you could also feel that difference between rising and falling intonation.
Yes,
I also want you to make your speech more dynamic. If possible. Now this can be a little more challenging and may even get you outside your comfort zone, but I'm talking about using pauses, emphasis, changing the speed of your speech to make it more dynamic and captivating for the listener. And not all native speakers are able to do this, especially in a pressure situation like you're giving a presentation, but more casually, I think a lot of people are able to do this and really expressing emotions, and you can tell if somebody's happy, sad, or frustrated because they're using dynamic speech. And sometimes I will hear second language speakers using a more monotone voice. So this is an ad for Goldfish Crackers, but it's an ad that would play on the radio. And because of that, there's no visual, so the delivery really matters. And you don't want to say this in just a monotone voice. Keeping an eye on the trans fat in your family's diet, Goldfish Crackers have 0 grams per serving. The snack that smiles back. Okay, you're probably falling asleep right now. It's not very dynamic.
Definitely.
But I want to practice this and say it in a more dynamic way. And I want you to try to say it with me, but you can just listen to the way I'm going to say it right now. Keeping an eye on the trans fat in your family's diet, Goldfish Crackers have 0 grams per serving. The snack that smiles back. Right? That sounds a little more lively, more dynamic. So let's practice this. I would like you to shadow and say it with me in a dynamic way. Are you ready? Keeping an eye on the trans fat in your family's diet, Goldfish Crackers have 0 grams per serving. The snack that smiles back.
The snack that smiles back.
All right, good. I hope you felt comfortable doing that. Like I said, maybe it gets you outside of your comfort zone, but developing a more dynamic way of speaking is, I think, incredibly important, especially when you want to convey all of these different emotions. Now, if you really want to practice the American accent, then you need to mimic native speakers. And you can do this with shadowing. We actually just did this with that radio ad. I asked you to say it with me. That's what shadowing is. You're saying something at the same time, using the same intonation, the same emphasis, the same speed. You are linking words together, using the flap T. So you've probably already done this, and maybe you didn't know that you were shadowing. Think about singing a song. You're not just saying the words, you're trying to say it in the exact same way. And there's so much content out there that you can use to practice shadowing. You could use a short video clip. You can practice with an American TV show like Friends or The Office. You can practice with presentations, TED Talks. And you're just trying to mimic native speakers, use the American accent, and say things in the exact same way. I've had people tell me that they've used my videos and they try to shadow and say things with me in the exact same way. So yeah, feel free to use my video lessons if you want. If you enjoyed this lesson and you learned something new about the American accent, you can let me know by hitting that like button. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. So
liked already. Okay, so the next video is going to be Jet2 Holidays. The ad for Jet2 Holidays, which is going viral, and wow, I just found another video which I can use for this. So Let's see you in the next video.